Dude, I like your I like your shirt, dude. That's pretty dope. So it's like Bigfoot.
Can you see it?
It's also got the four-leaf clover for St. Patty's Day.
It's got some trees in there.
And it looks like you're targeting him.
Yeah. He's in the sights. So, yeah. It's happy St. Patty's Day to all of our connectors out there.
I can't believe it's already St. Patrick's.
Yeah, March 16th. Well, it's the day before. March 16th, 2024. And I hope you guys have a good St. Patrick's Day.
What the? Actually, it's 1024.
What do you mean?
1,000 years of our time has been stolen.
What?
Yeah.
By Nicolas Cage.
That'd be cool.
He wishes.
National Treasure 7.
Yeah.
Hey, I enjoyed those movies.
I love Nick Cage, so don't even. I like making fun of him, but I like him.
But hold on. You're saying that it's not 2024.
No. So,
just barges in and tells us we're wrong.
They've essentially added 1,000 years to our time.
I know. Okay, they. All right.
They.
That's them.
The global elites.
Okay. Oh, so it's the global elites.
Yeah. So they basically altered our time and altered our timelines.
So they're drinking what's that stuff called? The children's blood stuff.
Adrenochrome.
For how often you reference it, I'm surprised you can never remember what it's called.
Solid point.
He's always just like a child's thing.
The blood. I can't remember what
terrible.
They do. Something. It's bad.
Awful.
Yeah.
But so they why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense.
So there's a couple theories, and I'll show you a video of here in a second. But so there's one theory that it's our banking system to use all of this currency. The world has said we're going to cook our books, so all the interest and stuff that we've earned off this money 1,000 years in the future, we're going to skim that off for ourselves.
So it's like when I'm driving with no radio on it, I'm daydreaming what if I could go back in time?
Yeah.
And buy
Apple.
buy Apple stock in 1987.
Yep. Buy GameStop.
But they're actually just doing it.
So instead instead
of traveling through time, they just they went through time in the books.
They just took the books, and they said, okay, year is
how would no one know that would happen?
The year is 1812.
Okay.
And then they say, if we had 1,000 year of interest, we would have all this money. So let's get together and let's just do that. Let's just rewrite the books. Let's just say, instead of...
These guys are big dreamers.
Instead of
812,
we're just going to say it's 1812.
But we're right now, we're in 1024.
Right now, we're in 1024.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I meant.
So 1024.
Why are you saying 812? Is that when this supposedly happened?
So there's buildings that have those dates on them from history. So here, I'll show you a video.
Okay. Hold on a second. So you're not just saying they went forward in time. They're saying that they created 1,000 years of history.
Well, if you look at old photos of San Francisco, there's just their architecture that was built supposedly during the Dark Ages, tech that doesn't exist. We can't build it today, but yet they had it back then, and they were supposedly working with
sticks and chisels and stuff.
But they built those beautiful cathedrals. So they're saying they've just rewritten the last 1,000 years, and they can say, the steam engine was bringing stuff across the country and railroad and all that. And they can just make up the history.
That's true. I didn't actually see the golden spike get driven.
That's right. Or
Good point.
This
who's
is
the guy
terrible.
that
I already
raised-
can't trust anything I see with my own eyes. And now I'm
No,
like,
I can't even trust
wait,
anything
wait.
than history.
Okay, here, watch
So
this
did
video.
World War II happen?
So no.
Well, World War II happened.
Are you a Holocaust denier?
No shit. Does that mean I am? If this is true,
It happened so fast.
No, man.
Okay, watch this one.
It's a slippery slope.
So this is when I was talking about the way that they've done the letters.
Some say they've added 1,000 years to our history. Others say that the golden age has already came, that Christ has returned. His 1,000-year golden reign has came and passed. And with looking at all those grand structures, the World's Fairs,
wait a
all
minute.
of that,
That is
it
true.
makes
Why are
sense,
those J's there?
especially when you look at what date was depicted in those days. All of them had an I or a J at the end.
What?
Anyway.
So those weren't ones, they were J's and I's in like most of those coins.
Yeah. And so they're just saying like, oh, that just meant 1,000 is what that meant on the things. But really, it's like back then they were just saying like, well, it's the years 1812. It
So-
adds 1,000 years for evolution to take place. And I think the biggest thing is it adds 1,000 years of like to evolve with technology, finances.
Basically aliens can give us so much tech. They're like, we got to freaking add 1,000 years. This is gonna look really weird.
Yeah, if we just all of a sudden jump
We just,
ahead. So think back to the like Chicago World Fair
okay.
when they had those all over, and they built them up in like 2 weeks, and they're massive
They were
buildings
big,
and
yeah.
things, and they built it in like 2 weeks. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
I've never even heard
Okay.
of it.
They've talked
Let me
about
show
this.
you a
It's like
video.
What is it? The
it's
Chicago
like,
World
it's like
Fair?
they build like pavilions, and they're like 1,000-acre. It'd be like
Yeah.
building literally like a medium-sized city, and then they had technology in them too. I've never heard a conspiracy about this before, though.
So like.
So like this?
Yeah,
Yeah, so what they're saying is those were cities that actually exist. So those were like descendants of Atlantis that lived in these cities. And so then as they've jumped 1,000 years, we've gone in and said, tech like this can't exist, buildings like this can't exist. We're knocking it all down. And so the photographs, they just say, well, that was like a fair and it was all built out of like styrofoam or something. But really,
Are you serious? There's no way, dude. Look at that. Look at this picture.
but that's what they're saying, because they built that and that
So
existed.
this doesn't exist anymore.
No, they just tear it down.
they tore it down. But the thing that's weird is in all of these cities, they have these like sculptures, like the Statue of Liberty, or
Dude, that's
I
not
can't think
fake,
of,
bro.
like, so like all of these, in all of those cities, they have some sort of huge
Statue.
like that. So you
what
get
are you,
into like
what are you Googling that you're finding out? It's just World's Fair?
I just did Chicago World Fair.
And then it just shows all this stuff that Philly's
Yeah.
talking about?
so if you look at the
Why is he always
so,
right?
So there's this theory. There's this theory that it's because I'm from another freaking frequency, you guys. So there's this theory that
Dude, that's a huge photo,
what
too.
we live in, there's free energy all around us, and that
Right.
the buildings that were built, all of them had like big spires on them, and that these airships, so like blimps,
Churches do that too.
could come and charge, and they were charging stations, and that's how people would get around. And then
Are you talking like our ancestors?
yeah. So then they would
Grandma.
go around, and once this new cabal came into power, they were like, well, we don't want people to have free energy. We want them to buy energy, and we want to use fossil fuels. So they destroy all of this advancement. They sweep the technology under the rug. And then those that would not go along with the new storyline, they threw them in insane asylums. Look at our history of how many cities had insane asylums. across the country.
It's true.
Because if you don't now agree, I mean, look at what our government's doing now. If you don't agree with insert whatever political thing now, if you don't agree with that,
You're canceled.
you go to an insane asylum. You're canceled. You're erased.
Yeah, you're outcasted.
And then people start going along with it. And then you have the children of those people that wouldn't go along with it were sent on, they're called orphan trains, and they would ship them to a new city where they would then like jumpstart a new civilization. So there's photos of like San Francisco. The buildings are already built. San Francisco's already there, but nobody lives there.
What?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What?
Look that picture up.
My head hurts.
This reminds me of Omega Man.
So that's where you get into like the Tartarian Empire and the Mud Flood.
Oh my gosh, if I can smell.
Like there's so many different
Dude, I've heard of the
pieces
Mud
that
Flood.
tie into it.
I don't even know what I would search pre.
Let me find it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this
Crazy San Francisco,
Crazy.
empty.
San Francisco empty back in time.
Come on, algorithm.
Yeah, know what I'm trying. I'm trying to like into the San Francisco.
Okay, so like this one.
Cities were empty and abandoned for some time after the reset. Just look at scenes from this 1878 panorama of San Francisco, one of many cities in the supposed 1800s time frame when we do get photos. Aside from the whited out skies, you will see not a single person, not a single horse and buggy, nothing. The streets are empty
That is pretty
and
weird.
abandoned. No scaffolding.
And we're heading
smoke
towards
from the
another
chimneys,
reset.
No sign of life at all.
So where did
And
the
here
people who
going
built
to
that go?
St. Petersburg in 1880.
They're gone.
Look at that overgrowth.
What?
Right up to the steps of that cathedral.
So
And a few people
our
posing
people, our
around the
generations, we've
founded
inherited
masonry.
these things, these
The
buildings.
founded Freemasonry. And here again, some more shots of St. Petersburg.
Just
from
like the
around same
Egyptians
time.
inherited
You won't
the
find
Sphinx. They
anyone,
inherited the pyramids.
Not an idle horse and buggy
They didn't
cart,
understand how to use
Not
them.
a idle food
So they said they were
stand,
tombs.
No debris, nothing. Just mud.
Anyway, so what happens is, now if you want to get into like religion, right? We come down to gain experience, yada, yada, yada. Once we've like run its course, once our souls have cycled into bodies and we've gotten experience, we wipe it over and we start again.
And it's a much shorter cycle. So you're like, all right.
Yeah. So let's say the rapture happens. Like,
Dude, no
we've
joke.
gained enough
Here are
experience.
those pictures.
I'm telling you guys, I'm not just like winging it.
Dude.
I mean, I'm winging it, but like,
so crazy.
I'm not winging it. So let's say we've come and we've cycled out, and then we just say, okay, unplug the simulation. We then like wake up wherever we are, our spirits, or wherever they're from. We then wake up, and it's like, okay, we review everything. What do we learn? We talk about it, and then we plug back in, and here's these cities and things that have been overgrown.
Here's the crazy thing.
Because
There's
think of all the civilizations: the Mayan, the Egyptians, the Incas, the Peru. I don't know. They're probably all the same thing. But every great civilization disappears,
Well, you think about the Mayans, like,
and without a trace. Oftentimes, they're just gone.
well, that's what happened to the Mayans, right? You look at down in like, Mexico and these areas where they have these massive cities, and they've used LiDAR to go over like the jungle in a lot of places in South America, and they find like evidence underneath the undergrowth of these trees in the jungle, these massive, massive cities that could house millions of people. But then when the archaeologists go in and they actually start trying to, excavate the area, they find evidence of life, but they don't find skeletons. They don't find the people. And then they can't explain where millions and millions and millions of people that lived in the Mayan cities, where did they all go?
Here's my theory.
Dude.
God comes back. The great experiment is over. shows himself, talks to everybody, explains everything, goes over the rules of everything. Everybody is lifted up off this realm, this field, this planet.
Like Enoch.
Like Enoch. And for a period of time, like man is not on the earth. And then we start again. The next
Adam and Eve comes.
The next Adam and Eve cycles in again. And depending on what stage they're in, like maybe we've experienced all of those stages. And now we're in the industrial age. And so now, like we start here. Where before we started horse and buggy and all
I
that
guess
stuff.
the start point wouldn't really matter.
Right.
No, it really wouldn't, because you just have like a specific, and I don't know, maybe that time frame is
pretty
based
wild,
on.
dude.
1,000 years, yeah, it's taken from us.
Well, and that's the thing is maybe that 1,000-year time frame. Because you think about it, it's completely possible that the Bible.
You're kind of talking a couple different things, though. You're almost like the bad guys did it, but then also this is just part of the plan.
Could be, yeah.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Good point.
But it could very well be like a set time frame based on, because we all know humanity is like, it's in movies, it's in like, I don't know, so many different religions and so many different books and things, that humanity's inevitability is that we are going to kill it, like destroy ourselves. Right? That we can't live on the planet over a long period of time in peace. That it's always power, money, land, control that ends up, causing us to basically nuke each other and kill each other.
That's the point of this level, is what we're struggling with. Corruption and power and evil and wealth.
And maybe that's when like God steps in and goes, okay, they're about to destroy everything. Game over. Let's restart. We're going to start over,
and then
bring in new
ones. We're going to
ones.
say, we're just going to the Book of Mormon talks about it. They're just going to bury with mud. They're just going to bury everything and we'll start new.
Yeah. And then they start new, and then there's that time frame where humanity grows.
That's crazy.
Dude, I don't know. That's a compelling.
I'm literally going to be up all night like looking this stuff up now.
I can't wait to go tell my wife all this
the
stuff.
Tartarian Empire, they had free energy, airships, and like beautiful architecture. Their flag was like this lion. So the Tartarian Empire covered a lot of what today is Russia. If you look at the Russian flag, the Russian flag is standing
Don't they call
on
them the
what?
Tartars?
Yeah, the Russian flag is standing on what's it standing on?
A lion.
A lion.
Dude.
It stepped on the
And don't
Tartarian.
they call
It's
them
now-
the Tartars?
Yeah.
Like in the steppes, or they're like horsemen in the steppes or something?
So,
What?
Dude.
and so they said that then the world has reset. Now, if those that run our world know about this,
So then that would have been the most recent one, but then like maybe like the Greeks were the ones before, and then the Egyptians.
so that's why like Atlantis gets buried and things get buried and covered,
gosh, dude.
and then the flood of Noah, like, so obviously our world can be flooded with water in an instant, or covered with mud for an instant. So there's all these photos of like stuff being buried like way deep underground. And it's like, how did it get buried so much? Did they just open up the no, I can't think of what the
Cork?
no,
The dome?
the Bible. Yeah, what's the firmament?
Firmament.
They opened up the firmament and they just poured in 100 feet of mud, and it just, and then
Dude.
they just start bringing people back in, and then they come down and they teach us how to harvest, how to grow things, how to hunt, And at first they
Nephilim take some of our ladies.
right.
Those
jerks.
And then they come in and they're like, whoa,
Think
whoa,
they're
whoa,
all
whoa,
big
whoa.
and bad.
Yeah.
That's not the plan. Like, we are this bloodline here, we're following. Like, you're not supposed to interfere. Don't do it again. Go back, come back, they've interfered. All right, fine. Noah, we're gonna change it. Like, get a boat. Here's how to build it. And then open up, they flood it, get rid of the Nephilim, and then they come back.
That kind of would
I
make
don't
sense.
like how all
though.
this stuff kind of fits.
It hurts my head. But that would make sense because then it's like if something deviated from the normal plan, how easy would it be to be like, hey, Gilgamesh, bro, you gotta like get a boat, dude, because things are gonna get like they screwed it up, and I'm gonna have to fix it. It's kind of like, you know, if you're building a sandcastle and someone comes and like knocks it over, right? Or, you know, someone tries to build it differently, and you're like. And you take your little army guy and you're like,
right, and you start
like, build another guy. There you go. All right, don't mess it up this time,
Dude.
My head. I've never heard that
This
before.
one's not super.
So there's photos of the Tartarian like airships and how they charge. It's like a wireless docking system.
What are they charging?
I don't know if
Are you
it's like
saying they
free
charged
energy,
on
like
MagSafes?
electricity that they could
Bro.
come up and charge. So like there's all these old ancient photos and like there's like airships floating around.
What are you talking about?
Okay. Oh, let's do Tartarian
Dude,
Empire
Tartarian
airships.
Not eat ships.
I know I can't type, guys.
Those are like fake photos.
Yeah, those are see that now AI.
So you're saying they're like real ones?
So that's
Like this? That's just a regular.
No.
No, that's the regular one. See, you got all these dummies.
I know, and that's
well, you're also using Google, and so it's like Google's not going to tell you the truth.
What do you use?
he's like it's
Dude,
called
I
the
can't give
dark
you-
web.
I can't give you all the sources.
He's like, I don't know, but do you need some illegal drugs delivered to your house?
Yeah.
Yeah, photos. Let's. I'm gonna try to
How do you spell Tartarian?
IAN. Yeah. Is it this?
Yeah, so like there's stuff like that, like
When I see
so
all
this
these
stuff.
skies from the old world, when they're not
Oh, look at that.
filled up with airships, it's almost like looking at a different world, like a parallel past of ours, kind of like that Doctor Who episode where they entered a parallel dimension of London. Saw what the modern day would look like with airships, amongst other things.
Airships do kind of make sense. Why would we abandon them?
Yeah.
So then there's like records of ancient
Dude, no shiz. Look at this.
that show
There's that
like
photo.
they talk about getting in an airship to come
Crazy, dude.
to America.
Who does?
It's like a Russian, like ancient Russian book. So it's like Tartarian stuff from that empire. There's also world maps that talk about like this place called Caucasia that's in between America and like Japan. Like
Oh, isn't
this
that like
island.
the continent of Mu is what they call
Yeah,
it too?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's in the middle and it's just been like erased. So is it still there and it's just been like blotted out from us?
Well, that makes.
Or,
Oh, I don't know.
Whoa.
yeah.
Well, Caucasia, the Caucasus Mountains.
Yeah.
That's where we white people technically
Yeah.
hail from, right?
But there's like maps that show the Tartarian Empire, and it has all these other continents out near Antarctica that like we don't have on our maps.
Whoa.
It doesn't seem that
Bro.
far fetched that they could keep from us.
What is that?
So if the Tartarian Empire was as
Oh, wow.
advanced as they said they were, and they want to send us back into the Dark Ages, then
Then they could.
they could. You kill anybody who doesn't agree with the new story, and then the children of those parents, like, if it was something so crazy that they'd kill me and my family, if I didn't start saying that, like, the sun is the size of a marble
Yeah.
and it's really only 10 feet above our planet, and I just have to start saying that, it'll kill my kids.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Like, and then all
those
these people would, and then the ones that fight it, they get killed, and then their kids are raised by somebody else who's going to say the crazy
or they
lie.
send them to some camp where they do like re-education.
Yeah. So it's not too
Far-fetched.
far-fetched.
Well, Canada just literally took Jordan Peterson, put him in a re-education camp,
Right. Yeah, exactly.
and he said no. And so then they're like, all right, you're no longer a doctor.
Right. And they took his thing away. Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Well,
Anyway, I heard you say the wrong timeline, so I had to come in and correct it. But
all right. Well,
It's 1024.
it's a good thing you corrected us. Correction.
That one's a
Happy
head
St. Patrick's
That one's
Day.
a head scratcher, man.
March 16th is today. It won't come out. It'll come out after St. Patrick's Day.
March
but
16th,
1,000
1024.
1024. So if you had daylight savings, you thought that was bad.
Dude,
You're
I'm
gonna
tired.
you're gonna have to go back
Or
and
would I be not tired?
I don't even know if my oven in my kitchen will go back that far.
Dude, they were worried about freaking 1999 with the
The Y2K.
Y2K.
Shiz, dude. I don't even know if my computer's gonna go back that far.
Yeah.
Well, connect the dots. You've been watching it. Set your clocks back 1,000 years because we've been lied to. That sucks. I don't know how old I am anymore, which is also a problem. I mean, I haven't lost my hair, so for all you guys out there, it's real.
You're younger than you thought you were.
I don't even-
You're negative.
My wife says I look like a fatter version of Chris Hemsworth. So
Oh, dang. Wife. That's pretty good, actually.
yeah, pretty good. So
You know, fatter than him. Okay.
yeah, I mean, I wear extra large shirts because I don't want to show off my pecs. You know, I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But
I
anyways,
do them so they don't get caught underneath my breasts.
you got a bro.
Yeah.
Anyways, my man Fielding, who's not here. If you see this, Fielding, thanks for correcting us. Appreciate that. My man Travis, you've watched Connect the Dots. Follow us on our website, social media, like, subscribe, share one of our videos with a friend, because I'm sure there's someone out there right now that thinks it's 2024 and it's not. And that's kind of important to know. It's kind of revealing. So, most importantly, and never forget it, you're a champion. You right there. Happy 10/24 St. Patrick's Day. We're out of here.